Hey, what's up, everyone? Today we're going to be going through the rest of Act 3, which I've covered in two streams so far. I've done Act 3, Scene 1 and Act 3, Scene 2 in two separate streams. Today, I just want to get to the rest of Act 3. I feel like I'm slowing down a little too much. But then again, there is a lot of action. There's a lot that's happening. The characters are dramatically revealing themselves unto us, and and honestly, now we have Hamlet at the end of Act 3, Scene 2, being a little scary. Actually, he's going to meet his mother, Gertrude. He's gonna meet his mother, Gertrude. He's not gonna kill her, he keeps saying, but he's going to speak daggers to her, right? He's going to confront her. And as far as we can tell, the king and queen are pretty just reasonable, helpful people. So we're seeing somebody, at least for me, I feel like I'm watching somebody go a little crazy. The only evidence we really had of his uncle killing his father is this suggestion that maybe because he got upset at watching a play in which the somebody poisons the king, suddenly that means that he himself killed his brother. Like, it's a lot of it's very, very weak and like very suspect reasoning. It's not something we can fully believe in. So I'm going into Scene 3 pretty tense, and we're gonna pick it up from there. Let's get going. King, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern. Here we go. So far, Claudius has not been that offensive. And he has his plan to send Hamlet, his nephew, over to England to do some business. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are going to help, and they are on the king's side. Trying to figure out this thing that he's saying. Oh, Rosencrantz is speaking after Guildenstern. Okay, so I just lost track. I got slightly distracted thinking about something else. Back on track. The single and peculiar life is bound. The unique life, private life, is bound with all the strength and armor of the mind to keep itself from pain, from harm, but much more that spirit upon whose well-being depends and rests. There's the life, there's the mind, but there's also the spirit. I don't know what he's talking about right now. There's three things. The life depends on the mind. But the life depends on the spirit more than on the mind. And by the way, the well-being and the lives of many depends on the spirit. So I think it's a religious thing. I think he's talking about our lives depend on our mind to kind of control it, but actually it depends more on God. I don't know. I don't think it's that important. I'm going to move on. Okay, it affects the lives of many, many others. It's a massive wheel fixed on the summit of the highest mount. Okay, 10,000 lesser things are. Yeah. So this is talking about. Oh, I see. Okay, we're making a distinction between. Okay, so earlier my thing was wrong. We're making a distinction between just a regular citizen versus like a public person. A private person, just a typical citizen, you know, is obligated to protect itself by its own mind. But a public person like a king or a prince is much more obligated to protect itself or himself with his mind because the lives of many depend on it. Okay. And so it's an argument about the distinction between certain types of people, I guess. Army are prey to the speedy voyage. Okay, here we go. We will haste us. All right. Very important. It's very important for us to protect Hamlet because Hamlet is failing to protect himself is the general gist. Here we go. My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Polonius is here. Rosencrantz is gone, and Guildenstern are gone. Polonius is going to spy on this conversation. And I forget if he was actually charged with spying on this conversation or if this is something that's just happening kind of incidentally. It sounds like from this speech, it's just an opportunity that presented itself. Right, that must be the case. I think the mother wanted a private conference. I think conference was actually the word. So let me do a quick. Okay, no. I'll just come back down to where I was. Hang on. The first oldest curse. What? Wait, let me figure out. Is he actually. Are we being told that he killed his brother? Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it. It has the smell of the first curse. God's curse on Cain for murdering his brother. A brother's murder. Pray, can I not? Though my desire to pray is as strong as my will, my stronger guilt defeats my will. And so I want to pray, but I cannot pray. And like a man committed to double business bound to double business, I stand and pause where I shall first begin. And both neglect. I'm not going to either feel guilty nor feel prayer. Neither am I going to commit to my guilt nor commit to prayer, something like that. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood, with a layer of brother's blood deeper than the... Were covered with a layer of brother's blood deeper than the hand's thickness? The fact that this is in subjunctive makes it confusing. Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? What purpose has mercy if not to oppose sin face to face, but to confront the visage of offense? What's in prayer but this twofold force? To be prevented before we fall, then I'll look up. My fault is past. Okay, so it looks like he did murder. That So he did murder. So that vindicates Hamlet. Huh. I was not actually expecting such a direct reveal. I'm actually a little surprised. He murdered his brother. But he reveals it so directly. Now I feel like with Hamlet or with Shakespeare, we're gonna get like more of a sympathetic portrait of this character. Like what's gonna happen? I'm not too sure. So here we go. Jay, welcome. Of those effects for which I did murder my queen, may one be pardoned and retain the offense? Okay, so yes, we have an actual morally self-aware character. That's interesting. He is not. Now, this actually is crazy because up until now, the king has been largely given pretty stiff language from what I remember, but now we're getting something that's actually pretty the language here is kind of soft and fluid, and he sounds reflective, you know? He has like a very legitimate question to ask, which is where is it? What is the purpose of prayer? Is it to stop myself from sinning, or is it just to pardon myself after I have sinned? Right? That's like a legitimate religious question, you know, regarding forgiveness and prayer. And also this whole thing, like, can I genuinely be forgiven if I continue to benefit from my sin, you know, to continue to keep the crown, to keep my ambition, and to keep my queen? Do I not have to surrender it all, right? If I want forgiveness? These are genuine questions. These are smart questions. So we're getting Claudius, who in Hamlet's mind is just this base murderer, and Hamlet has his resolve to like probably kill him. But Claudius himself is not that. He doesn't seem obviously evil, right? It's very not obvious. In fact, now I'm curious, like, why did he murder the brother? Was there some justifiable reasoning there, right? So I'm looking for that now. In the corrupted currents of this world, may shove by justice. Right. In this world, if you have power, you might be able to get away scot-free. And you can buy out the law, but it's not that way in heaven. There is no shuffling in heaven. What remains? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? I cannot repent. I can't pray right now. I can't pray right now. I can't commit to being the guilty sinner, but I also cannot pray. That's funny. So Hamlet, the story, is famous for having Hamlet, the character, be the guy who waffles, who is stuck in indecision. But actually, Claudius himself is also stuck in indecision in the aftermath of his guilt. Okay, he's trying to urge himself to pray, but he's fearing this prayer. And I don't know if anyone's ever felt this feeling before. That's anyone who is not religious, but I used to be extremely. I was a Christian, and I remember that feeling of not wanting to pray, because when you pray, you have to be like, you feel this obligation that you're not going to lie to God himself. And, you know, you could try to reframe this. You're not going to lie to your own conscience. And so you don't even want to pray because it would force you to be honest with yourself and with God. And he is fearing the prayer right now. Now might I do it, but now he's a praying, and now I'll do it. So he hasn't even seen his mother yet. I didn't like accidentally skip anything. No, I didn't. So what's going on? And so he goes to heaven, and so am I revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father. I send him to heaven. He pauses. This is base and silly. Wait, what the? Hang on, He took my father full of bread. With all his sins. Oh, and how his heart stands. Yeah. Okay, this is kind of an old school Christian belief, but basically, Hamlet specifically wants Claudius to go to hell, and right now, Claudius has begun to pray, to start taking account of his own sin. And Hamlet really does not want to accidentally send Claudius to heaven by killing him at the moment of forgiveness, of having like a cleared account. So he okay, this is the kind of morality that now we in the modern era it's hard to square up with, because it's like, oh, how artificial that you just sort of like wait until the dude has like commits another sin so that I can increase the likelihood of him going to hell. I'm trying to think of like a modern analog, but it's hard for me to think of something that's similar. I feel like it would be really, this would be so, I wish I could think of one actually. I think it would be really, I'm trying to think, like, is there like a certain scenario in which you try to take the SAT on a certain date? I mean, I could be stupid about it. Maybe like, I guess horoscopes are kind of similar. Like there's certain timings, at least in the Asian version of the horoscopes, like you kind of get married at certain times or whatever. But like, damn it, I can't think of something that's similar. Anyway, Hamlet is trying not to kill the dude because he's actually praying right now, so it's not a good time to kill him. If we want to kill him to maximize the probability that he's going to go to hell. Then, actually, I did hear that the southern accent retains some of the older pronunciation of the English. If that is you trying to urge me to act this out in with a southern twang, that is not happening. I am not an actor. Okay, here we go. Up, sword. He sheathes his sword. Yes, he is no longer erect. Up, sword, and know thou art a more horrid hent. When he's drunk asleep or in his rage or in the incestuous, oh my God, he's gonna kill him while he's, Jesus, how salacious. Hamlet is imagining killing his uncle when his uncle is having sex with his mom. That is such an insane thought. At game of swearing about some act that has no relish of salvation in it, then trip him, his heels may kick at heaven, now he goes to hell. My mother stays. I will keep my mother alive, but this medicine but prolongs thy sickly days. Okay. I am saving you at this moment, but by saving you at this moment, I am gonna extend your suffering by keeping you in hell is my interpretation. I'm not 100% on that one, but that's roughly what I'm seeing. My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts, never to heaven go. This is actually an interesting bit of irony happening. Hamlet is like, oh my God, he's actually getting forgiven right now, so I shouldn't kill him. But actually, he should just kill him because Claudius right now is admitting, I am speaking empty words. And in Christianity, in prayer, it's important to like be genuine when you're talking to God. So he's not being genuine with his words. He might as well have died. According to Hamlet's logic, he might as well have died just now. No, I disagree with the Simba bit because actually Hamlet is a lot more complicated. I know the Hamlet Simba analogy gets drawn pretty frequently. Even me, when I came into this, I was thinking about The Lion King. I think in my first stream, I actually mentioned The Lion King. But I'm actually seeing that there's a lot more uncertainty in Hamlet. In The Lion King, it's very visceral. Simba actually watches his father die, Mufasa. But here, there's a lot of mind games. Hamlet is like Lion King, except with way more uncertainty. We have this little ghost that tells us, spoilers, damn, that's so annoying. Anyway, we have like this little, we have this, what do you call it? We have all these like, we have a ghost that tells us that Claudius killed King Hamlet, and now finally Claudius does confess that he killed King Hamlet, but the way he does it, it's not like Scar. It's not like, long live King Mufasa. It's like, oh, I committed this crime. Oh, what should I do? Should I pray? Should I not pray? So we have a lot more complexity in the characters. Mufasa was a ghost. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Mufasa definitely was a ghost. How do I think the people evaluated morality in the time? I mean, I don't think it matters that much what I think. I think because I don't study Elizabethan society and morals. But from the story itself, Shakespeare gives us a lot of insight into the morality of that time. He talks about, so basically I'll comment on the morality of that time as it reveals itself through the play. All right, here we go. Scene 4. Let's keep going. Queen and Polonius. He'll come straight. Look, you lay home to him. Tell him his pranks. His little fits have been too ridiculous. Please, just tell it to him straight. Mother. Worry me not. Don't worry. I'll give him the lashing he deserves. What's the matter? You've offended your father. Now, this father and this father is obviously two different fathers. You've offended the king. Mother, you've offended your husband, you skank. Come. You're not being serious. Oh, you're being evil. How now, Hamlet? No. You are the queen and the wife of the brother of your husband. You whore. Jesus. Now that you are being, obviously he's being very rude. I'm just emphasizing the rudeness a little bit more by making it more obvious for you guys. But I mean, that's kind of the message. The mom is getting the message that Hamlet is calling, that her son is calling her a whore. Thou wilt not murder me. Wait, hang on. What just happened? Come, sit you down, you shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass where you see the inmost part of you. What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help. So actually this reaction from the queen indicates to me that Hamlet is actually acting like he's like frothing at the mouth. He's scarily angry at this point, okay? I wasn't really imagining that when I was first seeing the scene, but it is a very like the queen is in panic right now because of how intense Hamlet's being. How now, a rat? He kills Polonius. Oh. Oh, I am slain. That's the old Shakespearean way of dying. Is it the king? Oh, he doesn't even know who he killed. He thought it was the king himself. And Hamlet is unrepentant right now. It's like not as bad as what Claudius has done. So Hamlet right now is actually overtaken with a sort of, he's possessed by this conviction. And he, like, if you imagine the scene, you have to imagine someone who is completely taken with his fury and with his belief that Claudius, and now we know it's a justified belief, but this belief that Claudius has killed his father. Yeah, this is awesome. Actually, this is almost Greek levels of like. I can't. I don't have the language right now off the tip of my tongue. But like in like the Iliad, there's like these moments where you have the hero just kind of like Ajax or whatever speaking to just like a common soldier of like a common Trojan soldier and being like, and the common soldier might like, I don't know, like grab his knee or something and be like, please spare me, and Ajax or whoever will be like, you worthless nothing. Here you stand before a glorious man, and I will strike you down and send you back to the dust where you belong. And so in the Greek epics, you would have these like very sort of like clear hierarchies of like who is more manly, who is more glorious, and who is more dirt. It's the kind of thing we don't really say in the modern sort of era of democracy and liberty, equality, and fraternity, right? It's the we don't talk like that anymore. But but in the ancient Greek poems, you would see this, and Hamlet is actually channeling a little bit of this. He's actually at that level right now. It's a very different Hamlet than we've seen from the first 2 acts, and up until the Act 3, Scene 1, we see a Hamlet who's sort of dithering and sort of like, not sure. But here we get this sort of like godlike Hamlet. And I'm sure it's going to be a brief moment, and afterwards we're going to go into like regretting and crying and weeping and writing little poems and being silly. But like at this very moment, we're getting a very scary Hamlet. Yeah, so now we're directly connecting her to a prostitute. Makes marriage vows, as false as from the broad contraction, plucks the very soul, sweet religion, rhapsody of words. Oh, such a deed. Yeah, you are a total hypocrite right now. Heaven's face doth glow over the solidity and compound mass with heated visage, as against the doom, is thought sick at the act. Okay, you are embarrassing heaven with your act. What act? What are you talking about? Look here upon this picture, the counterfeit presentment of 2 brothers. Which picture is he talking about right now? Is there an actual picture on the...
Look here upon this...
Okay, no. So they're looking at some sort of painting. Okay, yeah. So on the scene, on the stage, there's a painting that they're gonna look at. See what a grace was seated on this brow. Okay, Station like the Herald Mercury, new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill. A combination of form and deed, wherever you got this was your husband. Here's your current husband blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Batting on this more. At your age, there is no such thing as love at your age. You old you old wench. Okay, it's humble and waits upon judgment. You don't have the excuse that you are being guided by passion. You should be reasonable at your age. Is apoplex, for madness would not err, nor sense of ecstasy was ne'er so thralled. What devil was it that thus hath cozened you at whom in blind? How did you get tricked by the devil into this situation? Eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, ears without hands, smelling sans all. Even somebody without feeling, without sight, without hands or eyes, without everything, without all parts of reason, even this kind of person could not act like you, could not be so obtuse as you. Oh shame, where's that blush? It's a charge since frost. Mature reason of Bet's lust. Okay. You cannot be shamed when your compulsive ardor gives the order to attack, since frost itself, as actively doth burn. You've made it a reason. You've reasoned through this decision. The only way you could have done this is by reasoning through this decision and making it happen. Okay, the queen is understandably going to be extremely upset here. Okay. And Hamlet, okay, this gets me, this must be a lot of that. I actually never really read Freud, and I'm actually not that familiar with the Freudian psychoanalytical approach to like literature. But this whole thing with like the son, the father, the mother, this whole triangle, the Oedipus complex, I feel like as at play, I'm not going to add that layer here because I don't have the confidence to speak about it. But if you know something about it and if you have something to add here, please leave a comment. This line too. Imagine saying this to your mother. Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed, of a greasy bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty stuff, dude. God, imagine telling that to your mother. Oh, speak to me no more like daggers enter my ear, no more sweet Hamlet, a murderer, and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the kith of your precedent, Lord of vice, a fool, a buffoon, a cutpurse of the empire, the rule. No more a king of shreds and patches, the ghost. Save me, hover over me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure? Alas, he's mad. Oh, the queen does not see the ghost. The queen does not see the ghost. The queen does not see the ghost. That's a huge twist, man. Up until now, at the very beginning, when we had the guards, they all saw the ghost. The queen does not see the ghost. So this ghost is it's a fickle ghost. It's a fickle ghost. Holy shit. Do you not come, your tardy son, to chide that lapsed in time and passion? Let's go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say, do not forget. Almost blunted. Oh, okay. I only come to remind you that your purpose is not to chastise your mother. Your purpose is to murder, to revenge your father, to avenge your father. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Imagination works strongest in the weakest bodies. So imagination is strong in female bodies, I'm guessing. Speak to her, Hamlet. So Hamlet suddenly, after speaking to the ghost, so up until now, he is just ranting and raving. He is like a crazy person. And here he finally calms down. On how is it that you speak to the air? You look crazy. Like a dog, your hair is on end. Where do you look? On him, look you, how pale he glares. Okay. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you change my intention. Then what have I to do? Will want true color. Wait, the ghost is pitying him? And by pitying me, you're going to change my intention? Do you see nothing? Nothing at all. No, you don't hear anything? I only hear you. How it steals away. My father, as he lived, now he leaves. This is a creation. It's a figment of your imagination. This hallucination is cunning. I love this ghost. I love this ghost. I love that at first this ghost feels real and now this ghost feels fake. This is and it's honestly such a sophisticated like literary move to have it's playing with our expectations. Shakespeare is making it like is very much like blurring the line of reality, like what is real, what is not, by having this ghost, first of all, be a ghost, and second, to confirm it and then to disconfirm it in the same play. My pulse as yours doth temporally keep time as makes as health and music. Basically, I'm alive, you're alive, we're real. I'm as real as you are. I'm not crazy. Test me and I will quote exactly what he said. I don't get this part, which madness will not skitter away from this matter. I don't get that part. Mother, for love of grace, lay not that flattering. Oh, do not flatter yourself that I'm just a crazy person. Do not try to evade responsibility by just calling me crazy. It will but cover and fill this flattery, this lying will just paper over the ulcerous place, okay? It's going to paper over the actual wound of your corruption and undermining it will, and the infection will continue to spread. Please repent. And then he's doing a little bit of word. He's being a little, ironical here. Hey, I am the virtuous one. I'm telling you virtuous things. Forgive me for telling you the truth. For in these times, sin must forgive the sinless. You are breaking my heart into two. Oh, throw away the corrupt half and live with the pure half. Do not go to my uncle's bed. Act virtuous if you are not virtuous. If you are still a sinner, still act like a saint. Use of actions fair and good. If you act fair and good, if you act good, if you have the habit of acting well, if you have the habit of good action, then the habit will give you the clothing of good. It's a little, I know it's a little tricky, but anyway, that's the idea. Refrain tonight. If you stay away from him tonight, then it will become easier tomorrow and the day after and the day after. Habit reinforces itself. Heaven has willed. I must be the scourge and the minister of its will. I am cursed by heaven and I am blessed by heaven to carry out its will. I will bestow him and will take responsibility for him. Okay, so I will bestow death upon him and I will take responsibility for his death. So again, good night. One word more, good lady, what shall I do? I must be cruel only to be kind. Also a good line there. By no means let the bloat king tempt you again to bed. Okay, so here my prediction is updating. Earlier at the end of scene 2, he was saying, I will not kill my mother, I will not kill my mother, I will not kill my mother. He repeated it in like 4 or 5 different phrases. Like he rephrased it 4 or 5 different times. Now in this scene, he repeats this, he urges this mother of his 3 times or more, please do not go to bed with Claudius. Okay? And remember, this is a play, so people can hear a couple lines and then miss a couple lines. So the repetition is trying to like really emphasize, hey, don't miss this. I'm going to say this multiple times because you might miss this because you're talking with your friend that you came to this play with, right? You're getting distracted. No, do not get distracted. I'm going to say this multiple times. I will not kill my mother. I will not kill my mother. I will not kill my mother. Mother, do not be with Claudius. Do not be with Claudius. Do not be with Claudius. I kind of know what's going to happen. He's going to accidentally kill his mother. Call you his mouse. Damn. This is such a stupid analogy to make, but this reminds me of, you know how he's like so... he's imagining his mom and his uncle having sex in a very sort of visceral and colorful way. This reminds me of Mr. Brightside by the Killers. Okay, I'm actually a little embarrassed to say this, but you know, Mr. Brightside by the Killers is an extremely popular song among millennials. And weirdly, really popular in England. And it's about a guy who keeps trying not to imagine his girlfriend cheating on him with another guy. And that's kind of what's happening here. Anyway, it were good, you let him know, for who that's but a queen, who's only a queen, fair, sober, wise, would from a toad, a bat, a tomcat, hide such vital affairs. Who would do so? No, in the sense of unpack the basket on the house's top, let the birds fly, and like the famous ape. Wait, what? Oh. Do not let the king know my plans. He's asking his mother not to reveal anything. Okay. If it were good, you let him know. For who that is but a queen, who that is only a queen, would from a piece of shit hide such dear concernings. Who would do so? Look, I know that it seems reasonable to tell your husband, the uncle, what's happening, but if you do so, you will die. Like, as in the tale, what's the word? The tale. Be thou assured, I do not have the life to tell this insane thing that you are telling me. I must to England, you know that. Alack, I had forgot to so conclude it on. There's seals, sealed letters. They're taking me to a trap. For 'tis the sport to have the engineer, the builder of the engine. Okay, so the person who is plotting against me through his own plot must die. So the irony is that the engineer dies through his own plan, through his own devices. In one line, two crafts directly meet. Okay, yeah. Okay, and this is actually a great pun. He's literally talking about language, but also talking about this irony of a engineer, the tunnel of an engineer, the mine tunnel of an engineer, being the site of two different events from two different crafts, two different plots. Amazing use of language, by the way. Shakespeare is just so good at these like double meanings. He indicates Polonius, this man shall set me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night indeed. He's dead now. I forgot that Polonius was dead in this scene. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. He drags the body out, and now the mother Gertrude knows that Hamlet's gonna kill Claudius, and she hasn't really said much to Hamlet. She isn't necessarily being honest with Hamlet, so now I'm very curious, what is Gertrude gonna do? Leave us. What have I seen tonight? He is mad. Now, I still don't know how much she's going to reveal to him. Mad as the sea and wind when both meet each other and fight, which is the mightier. In his lawless fit, hearing something stir, a rat, and in this illusion, he kills the unseen good old man. He kills Polonius. So interesting. She's only telling the part so far of Hamlet killing Polonius. Oh, heavy deed. It had been so with us. I would have died if I had been there. We should have dealt with Hamlet much earlier. It is our fault that this mad young man is out of control now. But we were so loving of him that we were unable to take action. We were too forgiving of him. We were giving him too much latitude to drop the body he hath killed, over whom is very madness, like some gold among a mine of metals, of base metals, shows self pure. He weeps for what is done. Oh, she's lying. She's lying. She's giving Hamlet an out. That makes things more confusing. So the queen must know. The queen knows what Claudius did. The queen believes Hamlet. So the question is, does the queen believe her son and comes to learn what happened through the son, or did she already know beforehand? A lot of questions here. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence. Oh my God. So the queen is now in on the plot. She knows that Hamlet is going to kind of go along with the king's command to send him away to England. And she knows that Hamlet plans to pretend to go to England to then kill Claudius. So she's in on the plot. So is she evil? Is she knowing? Like, what is this, right? Because there is one interpretation. Maybe she is just a power-hungry bitch, right? And now she's going to kill not just her first husband, but her second husband. That would be, I think, a ridiculously cynical read. But, you know, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Alternatively, the more holy version is that she knows that Claudius killed King Hamlet. So now she is letting vengeance play out. You know? That's what we don't know right now. At least I don't know right now. Okay, the king is charging Rosencrantz and Guildenstern with a task. Let's get some counsel. Wait, what? The whisper? The subject of whisper is unclear. Slander. The slander over the words that may miss me and hit the emotion. I don't get this, but it seems like I'm not the only one who doesn't get it. My soul is full of discord and dismay. Scene continues. Hamlet. Okay, so the king has just left. I think the queen already left a bit ago. I lost track. No, they're leaving together, it seems. And Hamlet is entering, safely stowed. Soft with noise. Who calls on Hamlet? Or here they come. So we got rid of Polonius's body. I've buried it actually. It seems. Do not believe that I can follow your plan and not my plan. Besides, to be questioned by a sponge, what reply should be made by the son of a king? Take you me for a sponge, my lord. Like, of course I have to follow my king's advice, king's order. A sponge that soaks up the king's favor, but such officers do the king best service in the end. He keeps them like an ape in the corner of his jaw. It is but squeezing you, and you shall be dry again. Okay, the king is abusing you. I understand you not, my lord. I'm glad of it. I'm making fun of you to your face, and you're too idiotic to understand. The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. I think he's saying, I think he's just talking about the king currently has a body, but he will basically not have a body. Let me see what this says. May mean that Polonius has gone to the afterlife with King Hamlet. Oh, Polonius is with King Hamlet, but Claudius is still alive. Okay, so we don't have a clear understanding of this. The king is a thing, my lord, of nothing. Bring me to him. Finishing this off. Scene 6. A king and 2 or 3. How dangerous is it that this man goes loose? I was trying to see if there was like a Breaking Bad analogy I can make, but I'm not too sure yet. How yet must not we put the strong law on him? He's loved by the unreasonable, okay, by the masses who choose not by who, yes, he's a good-looking boy and he's popular with the masses. The punishment is weighed right. So when you are popular, people get upset about the punishment. They don't get upset about the act that deserved the punishment in the first place, which is, in soccer, that's true. In politics, that's true. Yeah. In company politics, that's true. To bear all smooth and even, if we send him away too quickly, it would seem like a plan. And this might cause problems. What hath befallen? Where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him. But where is he? He's outside. To know your pleasure, bring him before us. Ho, bring in the Lord. Now Hamlet, where's Polonius? At supper. Supper? Fucking kid. At supper. How annoying. At supper, where? Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A group of cunning worms are at him now. The average worm is the only creature with eyes superior to a king's. Wait. The diet at worms. Oh, okay. The diet of worms. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. Okay, it's this very complex pun with a political shout-out that I'm not going to get into. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. It's funny, I mentioned Wallace Stevens' last stream when I was reacting to the to scene 1, the soliloquy, and Wallace Stevens actually seems to borrow a lot of language from Shakespeare, and I just didn't really know that because when I was reading Wallace Stevens, I wasn't reading Shakespeare very much at the time. But yes, fat, 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 emperor. Hang on, let me actually tell you today. Because it's such a short poem, I'll actually get it. Bantams in Pine Woods. There we go. I feel like chieftain Ifican of Azcan, a caftan of tan with henna hackles, halt, damn universal cock, as if the sun was blackamoor to bear your blazing tail. The words here are very Shakespearean. I hadn't really noticed that. Fat, 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 fat. I am the personal. Your world is you. I am my world. You, 10-foot poet among inchlings. Fat begone, an inchling bristles in these pines. Fears not portly Azcan nor his whos. I feel like Azcan might be referring to Shakespeare himself. All right. Just wanted to do that little shout out. Wallace Stevens seems to borrow a lot of language from Shakespeare. Probably extremely obvious for anyone who studies Wallace Stevens, but for me, I was making that discovery right now. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves from maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar is but variable service. 2 dishes, but to 1 table, that's the end. Hey, Polonius died, you're gonna die too, motherfucker. Alas, alas, a man may fish with the worm that hath ate of a king, and eat of the fish that hath fed of that worm. So, a worm eats a king, a fish eats the worm, and now I may eat the fish. So, this sort of circle of death. The guts of a beggar. So, the beggar in this case might be Polonius. The worm is now eating Polonius. The fish will eat that worm, and maybe now you will eat that fish. In heaven, send thither to see. Go to heaven yourself. If not, go to hell and find him. So he's basically threatening his life. Actually, I'm not emphasizing the stage and like the actual acting here, but here the king should. I mean, I feel like you could act this in a couple different ways as the king, but I see, just for me, in my head, I would be puzzled and threatened, because Hamlet is basically threatening the king to his face. So I don't want to stand down. I don't want to seem fearful. I don't want to show my fear, and so I would kind of put on a certain face if I were the king, to kind of to act cool, but at the same time, internally, I'd be like, oh, first of all, he seems to know what I've done. He seems to have this conviction that I must die, and I would be rattled. Farewell, dear mother. My mother, father and mother is man and wife. Come for England. I'm trying to figure out what this means. Is he also now threatening the mother? That part I don't fully get. All right, we're going to hear what the king thinks. Follow him at foot, tempt him with speed aboard, delay it not, I'll have him hence tonight. Everything else bears on. Okay, make haste. And King of England, if you hold my love at anything, at any value, may give you a reason to feel the value of that love. Since yet thy scar looks raw and red after Danish sore, and your respect unconstrained pays homage to us. Ah. Okay. And I actually didn't know. I thought that Claudius was being more kind and naive. I didn't know that Claudius was intending to kill Hamlet in England. But hey, what else is there to say? The plot thickens. The plot thickens. He's asking the English king, hey, I know you might be a little raw, that we have subjugated you and you may want to take some revenge. Well, if you value my love at all, okay, please repay my love by killing my nephew. My prediction was earlier that Hamlet will attempt to kill Claudius and accidentally kill his mother instead. I think I will stick to that prediction. Besides that, I don't see... Well, Hamlet himself probably will kill himself or just die in some way. I don't think there's any way in which this story ends without Hamlet also dying. Claudius will die. Claudius will die. 2. That should be directly due to Hamlet. Hamlet will try to kill Claudius. So Claudius is trying to kill Hamlet. Hamlet will kill Claudius himself. Claudius has all the power, so he can do all these sort of like macro plays. Hamlet is being extremely straightforward. He's just threatening to kill Claudius directly. Farewell, dear mother, thy loving father, Hamlet. My mother, man and wife is one flesh. Is man and wife. My mother, father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh. So my mother, come for England. I can't tell what he's saying here. I feel like that's a little bit important because I can't tell if he is for or against his mother's death now. I'm going to stick with the interpretation that he doesn't want to kill his mother. I think that's more tragic anyway. So Claudius is trying to kill Hamlet. He's trying not to kill his mother. I think he will accidentally kill his mother while also killing Claudius, and then he himself will die in some way. Claudius is guilty, but he is also a sort of morally self-aware figure, which complicates this quite a bit. And then the mother is interesting. Gertrude is interesting. Can't tell how much of a conniving schemer she is and how much she's very much a mystery. And I feel like every Shakespeare adaptation of Hamlet, is going to have their own spin on Gertrude. Hamlet, the acting in this particular act, Act 3, for Hamlet, oh my God, has to have insane range. self-doubt, but also this sort of like glorious, heroic self-confidence, and then this conviction, and this act was crazy for the main character Hamlet. Okay, I guess that's it for me for Act 3. Very fun. Looking forward to Act 4. Want to read as much of this as possible while it's fresh in my mind. So maybe I should read more per week, honestly. But maybe I should finish Acts 4 and 5 next week. But I don't know if I have the time, honestly, given my schedule. My schedule is a little crazy. So the trade-off is I read like 1 week per week. I read 1 act per week, which feels manageable with my time. But then I kind of forget bits and pieces as I go along because it's been a whole week. Or I keep the memory of everything fresh in my mind, but then I have to sacrifice other things that I want to do. Okay, decisions. But for now, I'll probably just stick with the plan. So guys, if you are interested in reading along with me, I want to build this up into like an ongoing year-long book club kind of thing where we set a specific text. We have a schedule for that text. Everyone reads along with me. I do my reactions according to the schedule, and you guys can kind of hopefully glean more from the text than you would have otherwise on your own. So that's kind of the idea for this. If you have a text that you want me to cover that is going to be, for after Hamlet, so basically for end of April and on, let me know what you would like me to read in the comments below. And if you're looking for help on the SAT, as always, you can check my channel. I do a bunch of programs, paid and free, through YouTube and in Discord. I'm very active in Discord in my servers, so just connect with me. All right, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in the next stream. Hamlet Act 4. Until then, keep on learning, keep on growing. Peace.